A Ukrainian army doctor rushes to help yet another casualty this morning near the front lines. Russia may be in disarray today, but the fighting here near the town of Bakhmut is as ferocious as ever. Rough and ready treatment for this soldier who's got a chunk of shrapnel in his thigh. The doctor here, his call sign is Yoda, plots the next rescue mission to the nearby battlefield. As for the news of a mutiny in Russia, with weary eyes, Yoda says most of us don't really believe it. Or maybe it's a performance, something to try to distract us. What matters is that we fight on.
They're just heading off now to the front line to pick up some more wounded. The fighting seems to be getting much more intense around Bakhmut, and the word from the Ukrainians is that they are advancing now steadily, metre by metre.
So are Ukrainian troops already taking advantage of the chaos in Russia's military? That must surely be the plan. There is certainly a big opportunity to seize here, with Ukraine's counter-offensive already poised to move up several gears.
That's Ukrainian jets flying overhead. Two Ukrainian jets flying very low overhead. We're having to stay under the trees here because the medics here are telling us that Russian drones are constantly patrolling every day looking for them.
Люди устали, очень устали.
Another doctor, known as Afghan, who I last met a year ago, is weary and cautious about what comes next.
How is the counter-offensive going? Difficult.
Yes.
As if to prove the point, incoming Russian artillery. Then another casualty arrives from the front. 56-year-old Alexander. More shrapnel. And yet, as heavy as the fighting still is, there's renewed hope here that the demoralized, divided Russian enemy may be in big trouble, and that Putin's war just might have reached a turning point.
Well, let's go live then to eastern Ukraine and join Andrew Harding, who's there. Andrew, what's your reading of the potential impact of these events now on the fighting there in the next few weeks?
Good evening, Hugh. Well, the situation here and in Russia is so unpredictable right now that the Ukrainians may well be tempted simply to shrug, keep calm and carry on with their counterattack as planned. On the other hand, it's clear that there is potentially an opportunity for Ukraine. And so I think they'll be watching very closely in the coming days to see if the instability in Russia is transferred to the front lines here in Ukraine. Will Wagner's troops come back? Will there be new divisions, perhaps infighting, perhaps even sudden retreats of units from the front lines? Opportunities for Ukraine to exploit. On the other hand, there are clearly risks involved here too for Ukraine. Will a Kremlin, rattled by recent events, simply try to re-exert its authority over this conflict, perhaps by accelerating things, perhaps even by launching some sort of nuclear provocation or sabotage? That's certainly something the Ukrainians have been concerned about. Overall, though, I think this is clearly something that the Ukrainians will see as an opportunity. The timing is perfect for them. It comes as they're trying to ramp up their counter-offensive with tens of thousands more troops and Western weapons poised to join the offensive. So plenty of risks, but many more opportunities right now for Ukraine.
Andrew, thank you again for the thoughts there in eastern Ukraine. Andrew Harding, our correspondent there. And as Andrew was saying, lots of unanswered questions and lots of things to consider about the potential impact in the days and weeks ahead. Frank Gardner is with me, our security correspondent. How do you see the position of the main characters in this ongoing conflict?
Right, well, you could sum it up in a nutshell by saying Wagner neutered, Prigozhin exiled, Putin weakened. But it's a bit more nuanced than that, because the success of the Wagner group was largely down to the fact that they operated outside the Russian mainstream army infrastructure, which was weighed down with bureaucracy, with corruption and poor leadership. This is why they were so effective. But they've now been brought to heel. They are going to be under the command of the Russian Ministry of Defense. Prigozhin is off to Belarus. How long he will survive there as a free man is open to debate. President Putin is not left looking very strong from this. Or, there are some people who say, oh, well, this is all a big ruse, the whole thing was but it doesn't make him look good. The thing that doesn't change is the strength of Russian defences in southern Ukraine. And that's what Ukraine has got to try and break through. None of this changes the fact that Russia has got a triple layer of defences, of minefields, barbed wire, interlocking fields of fire, trenches, command post bunkers, all of which is covered by artillery that will rain down rounds on the advancing Ukrainian troops. That's what they've still got to tackle if this war is going to end. That hasn't changed.
Thank you very much. Frank Gardner with his assessment there, our security correspondent.